sad little people whose team may never won a damn thing. But hey, I can relate. Welcome to all my listeners, whether you're watching on YouTube or tuning in audio only. This is another episode of Break the Huddle. You know the vibe. Yes, sir. Listen up. Ooh, I gotta get the headphones. I gotta get my headphones right. But hey, I am your humble host, Don Deuce. We are covering Thursday Night Football. It has been lit. It was a great ass game. But don't worry. Grab your jersey. Settle in. Let's break the huddle. Yes, sir. Yeah. Mic check. Can y'all hear me? I wonder if y'all can hear me, man. And before we kick things off, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, and follow Break the Huddle on all your favorite platforms. Whether you're watching or listening, don't miss out on any of the real talk we got coming your way. All right, let's get into it. Listen, the 49ers literally sneak out of LA with a win over the Los Angeles Rams in an overtime fashion. Mac Jones had himself a day. Oh my God. I really did like this game. Mac Jones, I don't want to start a controversy. I don't want to start a controversy here, y'all. But some might say Mac Jones is playing better than Brock Purdy. Some might say Mac Jones looks better than Brock Purdy. Y'all would have to let me know. You would have to tell me that, because here's what I do know. What I do know is when Mac Jones was coming out of Alabama, the 49ers was interested in Mac Jones. And everybody and their mama knew that this is the perfect guy for Kyle Shanahan's system. A guy that could throw on time, never go too much off script, that could just deliver the ball, has good accuracy. And now that Mac Jones finally landed in Kyle Shanahan's lap for a measly $7 million salary, you see what he would have looked like maybe if they hadn't traded up for Trey Lance, right? But that's neither here or there, man. Mac Jones goes 33 for 49. He goes 33 for 49 with arguably hold on, chat. Hold on, chat. First game, you know what I'm saying? First day back, you know what I mean? I gotta make sure the audio levels is Gucci. Are we Gucci in the headphones? Let me see what's going on. I gotta do a quick mic check, chat. I gotta do a quick mic check. Mic check. All right. All right, man. Look, so like I was saying, Mac Jones goes 33 for 49, 342, 2 touchdowns. He's only taken one sack. Christian McCaffrey was pretty much the offense tonight. Um, he had 22 carries for 57 yards, but he did a lot in the air. Eight catches, 82 yards in a tutty. While the surprising man of the hour happened to be Kendrick Bourne. Now everybody knows Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne were teammates in New England. And then, but also Kendrick Bourne was a 49er before his New England stint. So not only was he familiar with Mac Jones, he was also familiar with this offense, making him an easy guy to bring in off the street and get him well and acclimated. And hey, that front office is reaping the benefits of that Kendrick Bourne signing for sure. 10 catches, 142. I thought he wasn't going to do much today, but he actually made a ton of big plays, play after play. Mac Jones stepped in the pocket and kept delivering him the ball. Late in that game, we did see Mac Jones get hit, and I did think that he was going to get I did think he was hurt for sure. It looked like he was hurt for a little bit, but outside of that, nothing too serious. He looks like he'll be fine. Now, what I will say about this game was the 49ers came out and they pretty much controlled that first half. Just the way they were running it, the way they were using the pass game as an extension of the run. I thought that was pretty telling straight into the beginning. The way that Christian McCaffrey was catching those passes. He had about five catches in that first half. And Mac Jones just kept delivering and kept moving the chains. You seen Stafford come alive late. Come alive late in that first half. They scored, cutting it to about 17-7. And then here come the Rams. They get their feet wet. Devontae Adams didn't particularly have a good game early on, but he showed up. He showed up in some crucial big moments. Puka Nacua throughout this entire game, making big catch after big catch, helping Matthew Stafford move the chains. Kyren Williams was a bright spot. Kyren Williams had 8 catches, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. This just was a tough game, man. It was a real tough game. Y'all see me? I'm chilling right now. Like, I got a new setup. I got some new things on the wall. You see them in Elite Neighbors, but I'm here chilling. I'm just here going over this game, talking out through it. But what we will do is we will react to that game. We'll pull it up, and because I'm sure the NFL already has that game like cut up as they went. Let's see what's going on. You think they already got it out there? Absolutely not. They do not have that. They don't have it yet. Let's see. All right, they don't have it. They don't have it just yet. But like I was saying, it was just a really flat out good game called by Kyle Shanahan. It felt like they were never really in trouble throughout this game. It felt like Mac Jones was comfortable as ever. Probably the most comfortable I ever seen Mac Jones in this game. I'll tell you that, right? Outside of he threw for 342. I can't remember the last time Mac Jones threw for 3. I can't remember the last time Buddy threw for 342. Demarcus Robinson, 3 catches, 39 yards and a touchdown. He was a slight bright spot in this game as well. Mac Jones missed him on a long touchdown. His impact could have been felt greatly a little bit more. But outside of that, extremely well called game by Kyle Shanahan. The way he just keeps you moving, he keeps you on your toes. The way he's able to create these mismatches on offense for Christian McCaffrey is very impressive. He made Mac Jones' job very easy tonight, and all he had to do was sit in that pocket and deliver. It wasn't too many off script plays that I've seen by him, but that's what the defense was giving him. Shout out to that offensive line. They was really in the trenches because you got to think this Rams defense, they're leading the league in sacks. They came in today leading the league in sacks. This 49ers offense this 49ers offensive line coming off of a loss. They lost Brock Purdy. They showed up and they showed out. This was an incredible job by that offensive line. Trent Williams woke up today and he pretty much neutralized Jared Verse. Pretty much neutralized the Rams' best pass rusher. Yeah, he had his plays because everybody gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna get his. Jared Verse is that talented. He's gonna end up getting his at some point. But for the majority of the game, Jared Verse was pretty much held in check by Trent Williams, and he did a phenomenal job. And Trent Williams just continues to show, even though he's Asian, he is worth the massive contract. He's worth the big bucks, and that is one of the most important positions in football, right? Is having an elite tackle out there to get the job done and to protect your quarterback. So, shout out to the 49ers, man. I thought it was an incredible job done by them, man. I'm not gonna lie. 26-23, and for the Rams, they fall hard. All I know is these are two teams that I feel like we're gonna see in the postseason, right? These are two teams that are capable of making the postseason. Uh, what even while the 49ers are short-handed, as long as they can have some competent quarterback play, it seems like they're not gonna miss a step. And that's what's scary about this unit because later in the season you're gonna end up with Juwan Jennings, you're gonna end up with Ricky Purcell, you're gonna end up with Brandon Ayuk at some point in the season, right? There's no real timetable on his return, but you see how hard this team fights, and I can't imagine not seeing them making an appearance in the postseason after today. As for the Rams, they have some pretty the Rams have some pretty tough opponents coming up, to be honest, if you ask me, because their next game is against the Ravens. Potentially Lamar comes back, even though that Ravens defense has been a little bit suspect. As long as you have Lamar Jackson, you always have a chance, right? So that's going to be a tough one. The Jaguars are not a team that's just going to lay down and let you push them around. That's not what Liam Cohen has been coaching down there in Jacksonville, coaching down there in Duval. He has his guys fired up. The Jaguars have one of the better defensive units in the league this season, so that's not a cakewalk. Versus the Saints, all right, all right, might be a cakewalk, might be red velvet cake when it comes to that time, right? And then back at Levi's Stadium against the 49ers. So that is a semi-difficult stretch. And then the next week they have another divisional game versus the Seahawks. So that's a pretty difficult stretch. And and then after that against Baker Mayfield in the Buccaneers. So these are not easy games, but I do think that Matthew Stafford and these boys are able to squeak it out. I think they'll be able to squeak out a good amount of wins from in this next stretch. But they get handed the L. I know that's not what they wanted, but it is what it is. Mac Jones and company were the better men today, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how they get. It's crazy how they did this, man. But outside of that, look, outside of that, shout out to the 49ers. What else? What else we got coming up? It is NFL week 5. There has been a lot of shenanigans going down. A lot of shenanigans going down, chat, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on in Cleveland, right? Because Cleveland right now, has officially benched Joe Flacco. They benched veteran quarterback Joe Flacco, and he Joe Flacco just didn't look good, man. Let's just call it what it is. He wasn't operating the offense as efficiently that he should have been. Now, the one takeaway I can say that I noticed in the Cleveland Browns offense is that offensive line is not that bad, right? I don't think the offensive line is that bad. I think the offensive line is fairly solid. I think the interior of that line um has done a pretty good job from the games that I've watched. I think Quinshawn Judkins is a running back star in the making, straight second round pick out of Ohio State. He was doing damage. He did damage in college, and I expect him to do damage. I expect him to do damage in the NFL. Running back is easily the most translatable position when coming out of college, so it's easy for these guys to leave and get put right back in, get thrown right back into the fire and be productive immediately, right? And you can see from Quishon's last couple games, his last couple games was tough. Let's see. His last couple games have been tough, chat. Let me pull that up for you. Come on, man. Game log. There we go. Right. His last game against Detroit, he had 21 totes, 82 yards, and a touchdown. And then coupled that with 4 catches, 33 yards. Against Green Bay, 18 totes, 94 yards, and a touchdown. He didn't have too much receiving on that day. And then against Baltimore, 10 carries, 61 yards, no touchdowns, 3 targets, 3 receptions, and 10 yards receiving. I just think that he is week by week becoming a real focal point in that offense. And I think that's how they want to get the job done. But the problem is that Joe Flacco Joe Flacco wasn't holding up his end of the bargain, bruh. Joe Flacco is not holding up his end, because right now Joe Flacco had 2 TDs and 6 interceptions in 4 games. In 4 games. We're heading into week 5, people. That is dirt. That's straight up booty butt cheeks. And Joe Flacco, you should be ashamed of yourself, and you got to do better, brother. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Joe Flacco's gonna have to do better when it comes to that. Now, the offense, and an offense has been plagued by drops, second most in the NFL, and but I don't subscribe to the idea that that O-line is terrible. Although Joe Flacco has been pressured on 41% of his dropbacks. Cedric Tillman, up and coming budding wide receiver, he goes on IR. But once again, I feel like some of Joe Flacco's play to has led to these pressures on the dropbacks. So now what they do is um they add in a more dynamic quarterback in Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel out of Oregon. Everybody knows the controversy between Shador and Dillon Gabriel. We're not going to get into that yet, but you got to ask yourself why Gabriel right now, because I personally think that Kevin Stefanski looks around and he sees that he has a top 5 defense in the NFL, and he just needs a quarterback that can function his offense. Kevin Stefanski needs a defense that's going to function his offense properly and at least give them a chance. The problem with Joe Flacco is he wasn't giving them a chance, and that's why they sit at 1-3. Because as long as your defense can keep you into games, now, hey man, any given Sunday, right? But when you have a quarterback that's hampering you have a quarterback that holding you back and not pushing you forward, then you got to make some real serious decisions. Now, why Gabriel now? Rookie quarterback. He has poise, accuracy, and one of the things coming out of the draft was his quick process. He knows how to process the field. Did they see? There weren't a lot of reports coming out of that too much out of training camp, but maybe he's improved throughout these weeks. Maybe he's gotten better, and maybe he's gotten to a point where the coaching staff feels like, let's just give this kid a try and let's move forward with Dillon Gabriel, right? He brings mobility. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, the Browns are not the best offense, but if you have a guy that could use his legs, that could get out of jams, extend plays, then why not throw him in there? Give the kid a shot and see what he could do. The Browns want to move the pocket, right? They want to design rollouts. They want to give defenses looks that they haven't seen from the Browns, because in reality, what do you get when you have a starting quarterback in Joe Flacco? You get a stick figure. Joe Flacco is pretty much your traditional drop back quarterback. He stays in the pocket and he's pretty much a sit and duck. Now you add Dillon Gabriel, he can move around, he can make some moves, he can make people miss, and he still has the ability to keep his eyes downfield and potentially make a big play, right? That's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm seeing out of that. Shit. Fun fact, Dillon Gabriel is the first left-handed quarterback in Browns history. I hope that's not a bad thing. I hope that's not like bad juju or something, right? But what I see out of the Browns, it looks like they want to get a quarterback that could just help move the chains, because in reality, it seems like from what I mentioned, they want to lean on their rookie running back Quinshon Judkins. They want to get Jerry Jeudy involved. Jerry Jeudy has not been the receiver that they expected him to be so far in this season. What is that? Is that attributed to Jerry Jeudy? Is that attributed to Jerry Jeudy not getting separation, not winning his battles? Or is that attributed to poor QB play? What they do know is they didn't like the QB play, so at least you get to see exactly what's going on with Jerry Jeudy now. Now that he maybe has a better quarterback that is more suited and more able to get him the ball a little bit better, right? And I know nobody wants to hear this, but there might be a slow emergence of another wide receiver in that locker room. It goes by the name of Isaiah Bond, rookie out of Texas. Isaiah Bond has shown some flashes. He showed some flashes last week. And look, this offense has big play potential. So Kevin Stefanski's ready to just say fuck it. I'm ready to see. I'm ready to really see what we got here in this locker room. And now, because of Dillon Gabriel starting, you got this controversy with Shador Sanders, right? Shador Sanders goes out there. Shador Sanders, here's the news that Dillon Gabriel will be the starter week 5. The media goes into the locker room. They ask Shador some questions about his starting. Let's see what Shador had to say about that. So you can see you he didn't really say much. You can see he wasn't really saying much. Now he actually wasn't didn't say anything at all. He went mime. I thought that was funny. Now some say that Shador Sanders was this was a response to Rex Ryan, who went on national television and told him to shut his damn mouth and get in front of the class and be quiet and pay attention and try to be a better quarterback. After Shador Sanders was asked a question in the locker room by reporters once again, and he just expressed some confidence in himself. Maybe it was the wrong words. Who cares? First of all, I need to understand. I need to understand one thing. Where else in the league are third string quarterbacks getting asked questions about who's starting? And I'm not sitting here acting obtuse either. I get it. Y'all believe it's a story, but that is not normal. If you don't like what the young man has to say, stop asking him questions. I don't get that. Where else in this league are we asking the third string quarterback about his thoughts? I've never seen that before. I'm trying to figure that out. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. They're going to criticize you. They're going to criticize you for literally anything. If they don't like you, that's it. That's all you'll ever be in the eyes of the people, is just a troublemaker, conceited, not humble, whatever words they come up with about Shador Sanders is not warranted. I'm telling you. Um, and I think all this does is literally give the people that have been telling you forever, for the longest, ever since bro was drafted, that yeah, it don't matter what he do. It don't matter what he do, they just not gonna like it. The only way, the literal only way Shador Sanders can get people to be quiet, can shut people up, is for him to get in the game and play good. As long as he is not in the game and his personality is just him, people are not gonna like it. People are not gonna fuck with it. That's just what it is. I don't even know why we don't have to entertain it any other way. We don't have to look at it any other way. That's how they want to view Shador Sanders, and I think the media is always trying to paint him out to be something that he isn't. That's just me. I I could be wrong. I could be wrong, folks, but that's how I feel about it. And you got you got all these accounts on these social media platforms ready to listen. They're ready to stir up trouble. They're always ready to stir up trouble. They ain't got nothing better to do. And they asked this young man about himself, and they asked this young man, about his opportunity to start and whatever. And because he said literally he had the words perfect time in his explanation and his story, they gonna jump and say that he was taking a shot at Shador. Listen, we could sit up, we could talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna show y'all what Dillon Gabriel had to say. Oop. Something tells me you guys cannot hear the audio. Like, come on, brother. I'll play that again for you. I think y'all are hearing the audio. What a crazy, crazy thing. All right. Technical difficulties. Just fuck. I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying not this season I'm trying not to curse, chat. I'm really trying not to curse. But all right, man, look. This is what we're gonna do. Enough of the Browns. I got y'all know where my favorite what my favorite teams is. Y'all know what we talk about the absolute most on this show on Break the Huddle. And that's my New York Giants, man. The New York Giants, they I saved this. I saved this part because we're not gonna we're not gonna be too long. Uh, food chat. Here we go. I feel like your boy was freezing a little bit. Huh? Freezing a little bit? All right, look. So boom. Now, the New York Giants, they are going up against the New Orleans Saints this season. It's gonna be this season, this Sunday. Jaxson Dart gets his debut road start. Uh, uh. My boy Darty gets his debut road start. The Giants are looking to start this Jaxson Dart era 2-0. The Saints are still winless. I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to stack good performances, right? Stack good performances with Jaxson Dart, give and continue to give the rookie quarterback some confidence. I think that is one of the most important things that we got to focus on, people, right? So now, here we are on this segment. We call this the Giant Keys. We get this the Giant Keys. Yes, sir. All right, man. The Giant Keys. This is going to be some of my takeaways of what the Giants need to do to be successful. Like when you think about it, and you just look at the big picture, right? The big picture, the Giants are 1-3. They're looking to start Jaxson Dart off going 2-0, baby. They are ready to stack these W's. The Saints, they're desperate for their first win. And we all know it's going to be loud in there. Those fans are hungry, literally hungry for a win. When you think about it, Jaxson Dart's first road start, I don't think that he's going to feel a ton of intimidation from going down there in New Orleans. Just from his SEC background, he's used to a lot of loud stadiums, crazy fans. His confidence and his mobility are like legit X factors. We'll leave it there, right? But now for the Giants, when we think about what they have to overcome, even though that last week um was a good win, we stunned the Chargers, a team that many people would consider a title contender. Many people would consider the Chargers a title contender. And the Giants went out there and they put the pressure on them, and they had Justin Herbert off his spot all game. Now, what we have to acknowledge is what life will be like without Malik Neighbors. Uh and without Malik Neighbors, man, this Giants wide receiver core, they're gonna really need to step up. Now, Slayton, he's already had his experience as a Giants number one. He's been there, done that. I think that he'll slide into that role fairly easy, and I think Dart is gonna be able to get him the ball, and he's gonna be able to make plays. I like Darius Slayton. I'm a fan. I like him in New York, and when he's clicking, I think Darius Slayton he's legit. Now, for some of the other guys, without Malik Neighbors, man, we gotta see what Jalen Hyatt has to offer. I think that right now, what a perfect opportunity for Jalen Hyatt to prove his worth, prove himself to this organization, prove to himself, right? Because Jalen Hyatt's start to his career has been nothing but shaky. Um, can't get on the field, didn't know the playbook very well, mistakes, a lot of things surrounding Jalen Hyatt, and for the majority of his career, he hasn't had a lot of bright and shining moments. You know what I'm saying? To lean on. Now, we all know Wandell Robinson, he's gonna do his thing. Wandell's Wandell's a great receiver. He's gonna work that slot. He's crafty. fast, but a guy that I'm really looking to take another step is a guy that flashed a lot in the preseason by the name of Bo Collins. Bo Collins, I expect to see I expect to see his snap count go up. I'm sure I'm sure they're gonna try to lean on Hyatt being that outside guy for right now, but I'm sure Bo Collins might be that guy at the end of the day that's going to be on that outside opposite of Slayton majority of the time. And I think that Hyatt is going to see his time, in and out and things like that. And we're going to need a lot more production out of our tight ends. We're going to need a lot of production out of Theo. We're going to need a lot of production out of David Bellinger. Now, we've already seen a great connection between Jaxson Dart and Theo Johnson spanning from the preseason, and then also last week when he threw him a shovel pass touchdown into that end zone. That was pretty good. Right? Also the emergence of Cam Scatterboo, Scatback. Listen, I like Cam Scatterboo, but ever since he got here, I've been personally skeptical about Scatterboo, and I'm also skeptical about how the way they use him, and I'm skeptical about his running style. I just think the battering ram running style of Cam Scatterboo doesn't seem like it's going to hold up doing that every week. I think he's a crazy guy. He's the life of the party in that locker room for sure. I believe that. But I also believe that something might not be something. I just don't think that his play style is going to last down the line. If this team is looking to start stacking wins, I just feel like his play style is going to start coming in between his availability, right? Now, but then when you look at what the Giants are going up against, when you're looking at this Saints defense, this is what you're kind of seeing. You're really seeing a weak pass rush. Now, for a Giants offensive line that's still meshing and trying to really come together and trying to stack good performances on top of each other, I do think that they're gonna have that the Giants have a benefit in that regard due to the Saints' weak pass rush. Even though they have a guy in Carl Granderson, he has about 4.5 sacks on the season. He's dangerous if he gets loose, but I don't think that's something that Andrew Thomas or Luminor can't hold at bay, right? They still got Cam Jordan, but the problem with Cam Jordan is he's still solid. He's still solid in the run game, but he's just not the same pass rusher as he was when he first got into the NFL, right? He's not the same pass rusher that's been stacking up all these sacks for that organization all this time. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit that. They have a couple interior disruptors. They still have Demario Davis. They still possess elite linebacker play. He's everywhere. And then you got McKenzie, rookie quarterback. He's been struggling throughout this season so far. He's given up some big passer ratings. So if I was the Giants, I know they noticed that. I know they can see that. And I can see them scheming up some mismatches on that side of the field and to get Jaxson Dart going. They play that defense runs a lot of cover 3, a lot of cover 4. It's a pretty conservative approach, but seems like they use a lot of creepers, simulated pressures to try to confuse the quarterbacks. That's something that we're probably going to expect. We're probably going to see a lot of dummy looks, a lot of fake outs, fake blitzes, right? From that defense, or you might see a lot of heavy blitz from that defense. Just by the way people want to treat rookie quarterbacks, you want to speed up their clock. Everybody wants to speed up their clock, right? You want to see how well. You want to see if this rookie quarterback, if Jaxson Dart has the ability to process information and get the ball out on time, and to go through his progressions. But I personally think that Jaxson Dart is going to get it done this Sunday. Now, keys for the offense. If you ask me, keys for the offense, I just think that they should attack some soft spots. Attack some soft spots from these pressures. See, replace these linebackers when they're coming. And don't get too cute. I think that's the first thing that you notice out of the Giants offense at times is that they have gotten cute. We can acknowledge that the Giants have one of the worst red zone offenses in the NFL. Personally, we like every time they get into the NFL, every time they get into the red zone, I feel my stomach turn. I feel my stomach turn every time the Giants get into the red zone because I just know nothing good is going to come of it. Not a touchdown, not even a field goal. That's my issue. That's my issue with the Giants, bro. They just not even from that first game of the season, they got down to the 1 yard line and they tried to throw they tried to throw a pass to rookie Marcus Bowe in the end zone. But the problem with Marcus Bowe is that he's an offensive tackle. He's not a skill guy. He's just getting they get a little too cute when they get down there, man. Keep it simple, right? Give Scatterbo the ball, let him punch it in a couple times, move the pocket, get Jaxson Dart on the edges to see if he can make a play. But also, I just think that this is a perfect game to test that down the field accuracy outside of the numbers that Jaxson Dart possesses. That he was known for at Ole Miss. I think this is a perfect time to test that Saints shaky secondary down the field. Let's see if we can push the ball. I want to see a lot. That's what I'm saying. When I mentioned some of these guys, I want to see Jalin Hyatt. I want to see if they could create mismatches and give him the ability to show off his speed. Jalin Hyatt won a Bolitnikoff Award in college at Tennessee. Even though a lot of people have questions about how well Tennessee handles their pros, but develops guys into pros, but that's neither here or there. But another one for the Giants offense is just how well can his mobility punish when you got breakdowns, when it's time to take off. I want to see how well his mobility can punish his Saints defense. And the O-line just has to always understand where these not dominant, but where these good Saints pass rushers are, right? Identify them, make sure that they don't touch your quarterback. I think the goal of the season is to keep Jaxson Dart upright the most they can but like I said, I think our offensive line is really not that bad. I just think that I think bad QB play also can't make I think bad QB play just makes it a little bit worse. Bad QB play makes them worse. Now, if you had some, mobile, if you had somebody with a little bit more mobility, i.e., Jaxson Dart, I think he's gonna have the ability to get that done, right? Now, as for the defense, keys for that Giants defense, man. Look, I don't know if if you haven't been watching these past couple weeks, the Giants defense is heating up. Brian Burns is at the top of the NFL with 5 sacks. Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, they are having great seasons so far. And shout out to especially Kayvon Thibodeau, because Kayvon Thibodeau coming into the season felt like he was going to be the afterthought. After the Giants went and grabbed Abdul Carter, it felt like it was going to be Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence. It felt like those were going to be the focal points, and Kayvon Thibodeau was going to be on the back burner. But that's not what happened. Kayvon Thibodeau, when he comes in, he is just as disruptive as anybody else. He is just as effective as anybody else. Now, what do I want from this Giants D-line? I want them to speed up Spencer Rattler's clock. I think Spencer Rattler, he has a quick release. He is kind of a short passing QB, and maybe that's due to some poor offensive line play, which then falls into the Giants defensive line's favor, right? The Giants needs to force him to throw. I need to see Banks, I need to see Holland on the back end shoring it up. And I need that defensive line to force mistakes out of Spencer Rattler. That's what I believe. Now, what's at stake? The Giants can flip this, man. They could flip all of this to 2-3 and then gain some momentum heading into that Eagles-Broncos stretch. That's what I believe. And then the Saints, and as for the Saints, they could spiral. As for the Saints, they could spiral and just drop to 0-5. You know what I'm saying? That right there is Break the Huddle, Don Deuce's Giants keys to success. I'm telling y'all, man, the Giants, they're going to get it done this season. I mean, they're going to get it done this weekend, and they are going to come alive. I'm actually thinking about starting the Giants defense in fantasy, man. Something about this game, I just feel it, chat. I feel it, chat. I can't lie, twins. I can't lie. Shit. Y'all gotta let me know. But hey, now, look, I am getting ready to get out of here. But before we leave, I got another segment to end today with, and we're gonna call this No Huddle, chat. We're gonna call this No Huddle. Now, this right here. So we making parlays on the Giants. We're always making parlays on the Giants, man. Of course, we're making parlays on the Giants. Jaxson Dart, anytime touchdown. Jaxson Dart, anytime touchdown. Scat back, anytime touchdown. So we making parlays on the Giants. That's hilarious. We're definitely making parlays on the Giants, man. That's the way to go. Scatterboo, anytime touchdown. We'll do Darius Slayton. For 25 receiving yards. This is off the dome too. I'm telling y'all what's gonna happen. If your app allows sacks, the Giants are definitely getting at least 2 sacks this Sunday. And they're plus money. Give me the Giants money line. They're plus money. First of all, I'm already getting distracted from that comment because We're getting into no huddle, man. No huddle. Listen, no huddle, quick fire, feelings, not facts. Just vibes of the games that I like this week, and we got to run through them, right? First game, first game is Vikings versus Browns. I'm heavy on the Browns. I'm so sorry. I'm heavy on the Vikings, -3.5. Honestly, I'm ready to push it all the way to a touchdown. Now, just as I do acknowledge that the Browns defensive line literally terrorizes people, right? I get it. I honestly get it. I'm sure this is going to be a low scoring game, but I do believe that the Vikings are just honestly the better team. They're the better team. And I don't think it's gonna be that close. I don't think it's gonna be a runaway because I don't believe the Browns defense is gonna give up that many points, right? But that Vikings defense, I can see them giving Dillon Gabriel hell. That is a Brian Flores led defense. Brian Flores, he is going to throw what he can at Dillon Gabriel in his first NFL career starts. I'm talking blitzes, exotic looks, and pressures from every angle that Dillon Gabriel is not used to. He's not used to. He is not ready. Brian Flores has won against some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And I'm sure as hell ready to believe that he's going to look excellent against Dillon Gabriel, right? Moving on. Number 2, Giants versus Saints. We just been talking about the Giants. Give me the Giants plus money. Straight up. I really do believe that the Giants are the better team. I think they have the better quarterback, and I just think they overall have the better defense. They have the better pass rush, and there's more playmakers. I think Brian Burns is on a legit tear this season, chat. He's on a legit tear. And so is Kayvon Thibodeau, and then Abdul Carter here. Here comes the cleanup. Here comes the cleanup when it comes to Abdul Carter, man. I think that D line really feasts against that Saints offensive line, and because they just haven't found any rhythm, and they're still searching for their identity. Moving on. The next game I like is Eagles versus Broncos. I'm riding with the Broncos +3.5. I'm riding with the Broncos +3.5. I like the direction that this offense is trending. Bo Nix looks solid, man. J.K. Dobbins is heating up, and he's even heating up with rookie running back R.J. Harvey pushing more for touches. And even though R.J. Harvey he's on J.K.'s heels, J.K. is showing up and showing out, and he's doing his thing. Cortland Sutton's been reliable, but the man of the hour, the unit of the hour is that Denver defense. Legit top 5 through 4 weeks at home. I'll take the points all day. Now, Texans versus Ravens. Give me Houston. Give me Houston -2.5. Lamar Jackson's out. He's hurt. You got Cooper Rush stepping in, and just let's be real, man. That's a massive downgrade. Lamar Jackson, and here's the thing. Lamar Jackson is so good. So good that they literally had to he's so good that they didn't even care to get a backup quarterback that's like somewhat like his playing style. Like, they didn't care. They just went out there and just got Cooper Rush because they know that Lamar Jackson is their quarterback for the next 10 plus years. So they didn't feel like they needed to get a quarterback with his similar skill set. I still think that's bad given the fact that why not get somebody with a similar skill set so they could help maybe, I don't know, run the offense in a more functional way and not just Cooper Rush, who's like completely different, right? But that's neither here or there. This DeMeco Ryans defense in Houston, I just think that with Lamar Jackson being out, they just have the ability to stack. They literally have the ability to stack the box against Derrick Henry and force the Ravens to beat them in another way. So Cooper Rush is going to have to get it done maybe through the air, because I think D'Amico Ryans has a game plan literally surrounded and focused all on Derrick Henry. If I'm sure every coordinator would be super focused on Derrick Henry in this game, with Lamar Jackson being out. But also CJ Stroud, he's starting to find a rhythm. And rookie running back Woody Marks is carving out reps over Nick Chubb. I just think Houston's going to roll this one. I think Ravens are going to be soul searching after this game. And I really don't think that he's going to be able to get it done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes No Huddle. That concludes No Huddle, man. Those are my fast takes about this week. This week is gonna be super interesting. I'm ready to sit my ass down on Sunday, kick my feet up, turn on all these games, and analyze. And I'm here to kick some ass in my fantasy week, man. But hey, it is what it is. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Break the Huddle. I love you. I'm out of here. Who got my back? Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got that swerve? I got that swerve.